under degrees. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling his tea, spilling and sipping his tea, spilling and sipping his tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under degree, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under degree, shining bright. Set the stage, Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling 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 and sipping this tea. It's your under degrees. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under degree, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under degree, shining bright. Set the stage, Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea, spilling this tea, spilling and sipping this tea, spilling and sipping this tea.
What's going on, Diamond Gang? Welcome. If you are new here, Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming through. Shouts out to all my subscribers. Shouts out to my beautiful mods. I'm back with another war update. I missed last night, so we got to double up. If you're new here, we always take it back from the previous day all the way up until real time. So there's a lot going on. There's a blockade. Iran is not backing down at all. Trump is not backing down. However, we are out of time as far as the war powers with Congress. So we're gonna get into that, okay? Because Hegseth and President Trump, well, President Trump thinks that it's unconstitutional. Hegseth believes that because there's a ceasefire, the clock stops, and that's just not so. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up my screen, and we're going to get into a few things. The blockade has been in existence since April 13th. What does the president want to accomplish by this blockade? A nuclear deal, okay? But here's the question. Can we afford can we afford it, and would it be smart for us to hold out? So that's the question. Let me make my screen a little bigger. Sorry, guys. Boom. That's good. Let's go.
This week, U.S. President Donald Trump announced that the U.S. naval blockade of Iran would continue for months. Speaking to Axios, he said, Iran is choking like a stuffed pig, and it is going to be worse for them.
Neither side is budging. Neither side. So Iran wants the blockade removed in order to open up the straits. President Trump wants a nuclear deal. Okay. And at this point, both sides are issuing threats.
The U.S. blockade began on April 13th, and CENTCOM says that since then it's blocked 41 tankers, about 69 million barrels of oil, from reaching the market. Iran's parliament speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf responded, accusing Washington of using economic pressure to cause internal division and make Iran, in his words, collapse from within. Iran's Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei also followed with a written statement read on state TV declaring a U.S. defeat.
Now, this is the first time the Supreme Leader has made a statement. We all know that they said that he was severely injured in a strike, okay, and hasn't been seen since.
He has still not been seen in public since being wounded in the strikes that killed his father. So what is Washington trying to achieve with this blockade? Well, 4 things are possible.
And that's what I want to talk about tonight. What are we looking to achieve? Okay, because I want to guarantee it's not going to be everything that we went in trying to achieve. None of our goals have been accomplished right now.
Nuclear coercion is the first one. The U.S. has been very clear. They want to force Iran to put its nuclear program on the negotiating table. The second one is economic attrition, sustained pressure without a ground war that would be costly in American lives. The third is political cover. Trump can show force without conceding the war's costs.
And let me tell you something. Trump would prefer it to be that way because the midterms are coming up. This war, a lot of Americans are against it. Okay, so right now, the Republican Party is not looking good.
Even as oil hits a 4-year high, and the International Energy Agency calls this the biggest energy crisis in history. Finally, there is the fracture theory. Trump said last month that Iran's government was seriously fractured and that Washington is betting economic siege will widen that fracture until someone capitulates. Now, that last bet is where the strategy runs into trouble. The IRGC will not crack under strain like this. Iran has been
Let me tell you something. They have been under this pressure and strain for over 40-something years. I broke it down just how their government works, their military works, and there are several parts.
Under sustained Western economic pressure for more than 4 decades. Sanctions after the revolution, sanctions through the Iran-Iraq war, maximum pressure under Trump's first term.
So they are built for this. They can hold out.
time, the Islamic Republic did not fracture, it adapted. The IRGC built a parallel economy, controlled import networks, black market channels, sanctions busting infrastructure that has grown more sophisticated with every successive round. They are not wired to buckle, they are wired to endure. The fracture theory also misreads where power actually sits right now in Iran.
And that's where we underestimated them. They will not buckle. They will adapt.
The pragmatist wing of the Iranian system has already lost most of its leverage. Ghalibaf, a former IRGC commander, is now the most prominent negotiating figure. The hardliners are not under threat of being outmaneuvered. They hold the guns, the budget, and now most of the institutional positions. If economic pressure produces a fracture, it will not be the hardliners who collapse. It will be the erasure of whatever space for pragmatists remained. And the IRGC has demonstrated repeatedly that it has no qualms putting the Iranian population through economic pain. A tightening blockade and a collapsing rial does not weaken their position. It has.
Make sure you guys remember this, because later on, you will literally hear Trump say that they have no structure. They have no one to negotiate. That's just not so.
Them a narrative that the West uses financial power to punish nations into submission. That is not a recruitment problem for the Revolutionary Guards. That is the
This right here is a strategy for them.
Recruitment pitch. Sadly, the people absorbing this pressure the most did not choose it, and the people in power have every incentive to make sure it continues.
So in a relative sense, we could say that Iran is going to be the winner in this war, but it's going to suffer a lot for that victory. That's why I hate wars. I hate all wars. But in this case, Iran is better positioned to withstand this and to hold out. Trump's gotten, and the people around him, you talk about Kushner and Witkoff and the advice that they give him, these are ignoramuses. These are not serious diplomats.
He was not advised by the military going into this war. That is who he was advised by. Netanyahu, Witkoff, Kushner.
They don't know Iranian history. They know nothing about Iranian culture or civilization. They're real estate brokers in New York City. So the United States is not in a good position to hold on very long. The pressure is building. It's building from the general public, but it's also building from within the administration, and it's a building from within the Republican Party, because they're heading for a slaughter.
That part, they are getting nervous. The clock is ticking. They don't want to lose the midterms. So if this could have been over yesterday for President Trump, it would have been over.
In the midterm elections, everybody says they're going to lose the House, but there's more and more talk about them losing the Senate also. So Trump is desperate, but he's cornered because he wants to figure out a way to get out of it.
But not only that, Iran is known for negotiating very slow, very slow. So, if they think that this is going to be resolved anytime soon, it's not. It's not.
The Iranians are not making it easy for him because they have their own demands. They have their own say. They have their own veto, and they're going to do what they think is in Iran's interest. They're not going to want to help Trump, especially not going to want to help him after he has illegally and immorally bombed them twice. And he, sucker punched them during negotiations. So I would say that Iran is in a much better position. Trump also has no patience. And we've seen this, which is why it's so dangerous.
That part, he has no patience, and they negotiate slow. They have all the patience in the world.
Dangerous for him to have access to nuclear weapons. This is a man who's easily provoked, who lashes out, does crazy things, equating himself with Jesus, and alienating all of his allies. But inside the United States,
that part, we are moving troops out of Germany, 5,000. Canada wants to disassociate with us because of what's going on. We will have nobody when it's all said and done. I'm just being honest.
States is in a very weak position. His approval ratings are barely a third of the people, and probably less than that approve of this war. So I'd say that the United States is in a very weak position, and it gets weaker by the day.
Now, let me say this. For the first time, believe it or not, too, Trump was briefed by the military because Hegseth was tied up with Congress, but we'll get into that.
Breaking news happening right now. Trump is being briefed by military commanders on actions that can be taken in Iran. This comes as Pete Hegseth has been testifying on Capitol Hill and has said it could take months to years.
Which I'm happy this actually happened because J.D. Vance accused Hegseth of hiding things from President Trump.
To replenish the stockpile of munitions, of missiles they've used so far in the war, and it's going to cost a fortune to taxpayers. And we are also learning that China, just 6 days ago, their foreign ministry ordered all Chinese nationals to evacuate Iran or to seek safer places in the country, as they are expecting imminent strikes from the United States and Israel to resume in the country. So guys, lots happening right now. Fighting is likely going to start here soon.
Most definitely. Like I said, neither side is budging. At this point, someone is going to have to make a move, and more than likely it will be us.
We don't know exactly when, but as soon as I know something, I will update you. So check back for updates. Make sure to like, share, spread the word, follow, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
It is now day.
All right, so we're just going to go over just a rundown of what happened in the last 24 hours, Friday.
63 of the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran. Here's a roundup of what happened in the past 24 hours. Oil prices have surged to their highest level in 4 years, with Brent crude crossing the $120 mark amid reports that the U.S. plans to prolong its naval blockade on Iranian ports and potentially launch new strikes on Iran.
So the oil, it's at its highest level in the last 4 years.
Supreme Leader Ayatollah Moshtaba Khamenei made a statement today in commemoration of National Persian Gulf Day, announcing a new chapter for the Strait of Hormuz and saying Iran will implement new legal rules and administration for the strait that would benefit regional nations while excluding bullies. He added that the only place Americans belong in the
Again, they countered President Trump's threat with a threat.
Persian Gulf is at the bottom of its waters. Ayatollah Khamenei also vowed that Iran will protect its nuclear and missile capabilities as a national asset.
So remember, they went from, okay, we could talk about the enriched uranium, to now we're not giving anything up. It's going to stay here. Diamond Gang, please and thank you. Can you please hit the like? It will keep me in the algorithm, and it's free. If you would like to support the channel, the Cash App is pinned. Thank you.
And Navy Commander Rear Admiral Shahram Irani warned today Iran will soon showcase advanced naval capabilities, adding that these weapons are deployed very close to U.S. forces. Military commanders presented President Trump today with updated strategic options for the Iran war to move past the current diplomatic.
And again, I believe this is the first time that Trump has actually got up with the military. They had said Hegseth, Vance has, like I said, J.D. Vance accused Hegseth of hiding what was the truth about what's going on with the war from President Trump.
Stalemate before the 60-day War Powers Act deadline tomorrow. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth testified before a contentious.
And this right here, he's given up an excuse. The 60-day War Power Resolution is up, okay? While Pete Hegseth was in front of Congress, he believes because there's a ceasefire that the clock stops. It doesn't. Number one, we still have a blockade over there. That is still an act of war. So that's not true. But let's go.
Senate hearing today, defending the $25 billion cost of the Iran war as House Democrats accuse him of unjustly firing senior military leaders and misleading the public about the war. Hegseth dismissed concerns.
I showed you guys that the other day. It's way more than 25 billion.
Over civilian harm, stating the U.S. military never targets civilians, even as Israeli strikes killed 28 people in Lebanon today amid an ongoing siege.
Israeli, they are still going back and forth with Hezbollah. It's like there's not even a ceasefire.
Israel's Channel 15 reported that a drone launched from Lebanon struck an Israeli military vehicle in the western Galilee this morning, causing a fire and injuring 12 Israeli soldiers. Reports say it was an explosive drone equipped with fiber optic cables, which marks the first time this type of drone has reached the western Galilee.
I noticed, that's right. You said 993 days of his term left and counting. So am I.
The IDF confirmed that an Israeli soldier was in fact killed in a Hezbollah drone strike earlier this morning. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump, urged limiting ongoing negotiations with Lebanon to a 2 to 3 week window ending in mid-May, according to.
So he wants to shorten the ceasefire. He never even adhered to it. They've been fighting back and forth since this so-called ceasefire.
Channel 12. Netanyahu reportedly signaled that if no breakthrough is reached by this deadline, Israel will seek U.S. backing to move forward with its original plan for an extended military campaign in Lebanon. A UN-backed report released today has triggered international concern, stating that nearly a quarter of Lebanon's population faces acute hunger due to the war.
The gasoline, the oil.
Now we're going to get into our oil crisis. Like I said, this is the highest it's been in the highest levels in 4 years.
Will go down rapidly as soon as the war is over.
Even as gas prices shot up Thursday, President Trump promised relief.
As soon as the war's over, it'll drop like a rock. There's so much of it.
But U.S. gas prices have been climbing for 9 straight weeks, from an average of $2.98 a gallon in late February to $4.39.
But again, you never know. It may drop because of the UAE leaving. So we'll see about that.
A gallon now. In Indiana, the price per gallon is up more than $1 in just 1 week.
At $5 a gallon, I about wilted like an old flower. It's bad.
The price hikes in a midterm election year are making some Republican lawmakers nervous.
They should be nervous. They are very nervous. I believe that is why President Trump has not actually ordered strikes on Iran. I really do believe that because of these midterms, they have turned this war political.
A real problem for affordability. It's also a big political problem.
Democrats intend to make Trump's handling of the war a major campaign issue.
He cannot explain how it will end, and he sure as hell cannot explain how it helps one single family here in the United States of America.
I'm looking at right now $75 a
Please, Diamond Gang. I got 141 in the building. Can you please and thank you, please hit the like. It is free. Help keep me in the algorithm. It's free. That's a free way to support the channel. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. If you would like to donate to the channel, the Cash App is pinned. Thank you.
day and fuel alone.
In Minneapolis, rideshare driver Romeo Tillman says his numbers no longer add up.
We get anywhere beyond where we are right now, it's going to be catastrophic. These drivers right now are none of us are making it at all.
The head of Meals on Wheels America said many volunteer drivers who pay for gas themselves may have to make some tough choices.
Meals on Wheels is a lifeline to a number of seniors across the country. And
this is not good. This is going to affect everyone, elderly, everyone, families. This is bad.
So to me, we are putting people's lives at risk if we aren't able to meet their basic needs.
When he was asked yesterday about the talks with Iran that seemed to be stalled, the president said only he and a couple of other people actually know the status. He insisted weeks ago that the two sides were actually very close to a deal, a claim that the other negotiators have not made, Gail.
Breaking overnight.
Now we're going to get into actually who are we blaming, okay, in polls.
We did see a huge jump in gas prices, up 9 cents a gallon to $4.39. It's up 33 cents in the past week. There have been big jumps all week long. The political question is, who gets blamed for this? CNN chief data analyst Harry Etten is here this morning. So, simple question, who does get the blame, and how does that compare historically to past people getting the blame?
You know, the buck stops at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Donald John Trump, the president of the United States, and to a historic degree, look at this.
77%. Bush was 71 in 2005. Obama in 2012, 64%. Biden in 2022, 70%. Right now, President Trump stands at 77%. 77% of people are blaming him.
Blame for the increase in gas prices. 77% say Donald Trump. I looked back at every president that I could find on a similar question, which is when the gas prices rise, who gets the blame? Trump gets the blame more than Joe Biden did back in 2022, more than Barack Obama did in 2012, and more than George W. Bush did back in 2005, 71%. Donald Trump takes the cake. He owns this mess, according to the American people, and it is quite the mess because as gas prices climb ever higher and the increase.
Thank you, Diamond Gang, for hitting the like. I appreciate you all.
And the percentage that blame Donald Trump climb ever higher, his approval ratings go down into the basement.
So presidents always get blamed, but he's getting blamed more.
He is getting blamed more to a historic degree.
What about the partisan breakdown here?
Now, this is where it gets really stunning. Okay, you know, we've seen numbers that are this bad for Trump, you know, disapproval rating on gas prices around this area, the percentage blaming him for the increase in gas prices around this area. But when you break it down by party, this is where it gets. Oh,
bingo. So 95% of the Dems, 82 independents, and GOP 55.
Oh my. You know, this is a Republican base that has been infatuated with Donald Trump for years. But even here, blame Trump for rising gas prices. 55%, a majority of Republicans blame Donald Trump for gas prices. That is the highest ever blame for gas prices from one's own party. Then you see 82% of independents. That's the highest percentage who blame the president of the United States among independents. Not much of a surprise, 95% of Democrats, but majority. Rarely do you get the trifecta of majority from across the political spectrum agreeing on something. But here we have it. The majority of Republicans, independents, and Democrats all blame Trump for higher gas prices.
And this is the highest ever from inside one's own party?
That is correct. This is the highest.
The highest ever. The highest is from his own party.
Ever from inside one's party. When you look at the three other presidents that you have on your screen right here, that 55% that you see here, blaming the president.
So his own people, and this is the highest from the last 4 presidents' terms.
From in one's own party, that is the highest ever.
Okay.
We are in a ceasefire right now, which our understanding means.
Now, Diamond Gang, let me get into this War Powers resolution. It is a federal law that limits a president's ability to keep U.S. forces in hostilities for more than 60 days without congressional approval. After 60 days, the president must end military action unless Congress authorizes it or grants a 30-day withdrawal extension. He's up there and said that the clock stops because there's a ceasefire. I want to say this again. We have an entire blockade over there. That is an act of war. So guess what they did? Wrote Congress and said it's over. No, it's not. Let's go.
means the 60-day clock pauses or stops in a ceasefire.
We're right at the 60-day deadline. Is the president intending to either seek congressional authorization for the war in Iran or send us the legally required certification that he needs an additional 30 days to remove U.S. forces from the war?
On Iran, ultimately, I would defer to the White House and White House counsel on that. However, we are in a ceasefire right now, which
that ceasefire don't mean a thing. As long as you got troops over there with the blockade, that is an act of war. They're trying to move around it, go around it. They're doing anything.
understanding means the 60-day clock pauses or stops in a ceasefire. They're not in. Yeah. It's our understanding, just so you know.
Okay, well, I do not believe the statute would support that. I think the 60 days runs maybe tomorrow, and it's going to pose a really important legal question for the administration. We have serious constitutional concerns, and we don't want to layer those with additional.
And guess what? They don't care. They don't care. They have no respect for our Constitution.
Statutory concerns. I yield back, Mr. Chair.
We have some news right now. The Trump administration is telling Congress that the war in Iran is over, and it comes as there has been really terrible new polling released this morning showing that 6 in 10 Americans, according to Washington Post polling, believe that it was a mistake to use military action in Iran. For perspective, it took years for the American public to get to that point with Vietnam or with Afghanistan and Iraq.
Hegseth was trying it. He was definitely trying to buy time.
But yeah, now the Trump administration is telling Congress the war is over. Why are they doing that? Well, because under the War Powers Act, Trump has to pull out U.S. forces within 60 days of beginning hostilities. Hostilities in Iran began on February 28th.
Downing gang, I don't want to have to stop and keep begging for likes. I got 245 in the building. Can you please, 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 and thank you, hit the like, support the channel. If you are new here, subscribe. I give war updates maybe 4 or 5 times a week. And I put a lot of work in when I put this together. So if the likes are free, if you would like to support the channel, the Cash App is pinned in the top. Thank you. I will restart the video.
60 days has run, unless obviously Congress approves of the deployment of U.S. forces, which hasn't happened. Well, so the Trump administration's in a legal pickle. So it's saying, no, war's over now, saying that the ceasefire that's been in place for about 2 weeks means the war is over. The one legal issue there is that Trump is actually imposing a naval blockade still. And under the international laws of war, a naval blockade is an act of war. So
that part. So there you have it. It is an act of war. So technically, the war is still ongoing.
See how this works. Spread the word. Follow for more.
Trump on Iran has declared his own blockade genius and says now they're in the position of having to cry uncle if they want it to end. I don't think Iran agrees with this perspective.
Ripped off by other countries for years, and those days are over. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, regarding Iran, how long are you prepared to maintain the blockade? Can that go several more months?
Listen, they've been placed under sanctions. They've been going through these type of things for over 40-something years. They are built for this. They can endure. They have tenacity. They're not going to cry uncle.
Well, the blockade is genius, okay? The blockade has been 100% foolproof. It shows how good our Navy is. I can tell you that. Nobody's going to play games. We have the greatest military in the world, and I built much of it during my first term, and we've been building it since. And the greatest anywhere in the world, nobody even close. And you see that whether it's Venezuela,
bingo. He keeps bringing that up. He thought this was going to be just as easy, and it wasn't. He has no strategy to get up out of this. None. And he wants so desperately to get up out of this because it's hurting the midterms.
They have a good military in Venezuela, but it was over in one day. It was actually over in about 48 minutes. Iran, the same thing. I mean, militarily, we've wiped them out. They have no military left.
If anything, we're in trouble as far as our munitions, and we need billions to get back. If anything else jumps off, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
It's all the Navy's at the bottom of the sea. The Air Force is never going to fly again.
And he plans on going straight to Cuba. We're going to get into his little speech he did yesterday. He plans on directly hitting Cuba.
We've got an amazing military. Now they have to cry uncle. That's all they have to do. Just say, we give up. We give up.
And what he's banking on, and I told you guys this a couple of days ago, they are running out of storage for their oil, which can be major problems. He's banking on that. The beginning of the week, he said they only had 3 days. That is not true. They have, I believe, a little more, over 2 weeks. Okay.
But their economy is really in trouble.
It's not seeming to me, as we are now into week 9 and close to week 10 of Trump's 3 to 4 week war, it doesn't seem to me that Iran is going to cry uncle.
I don't think so. I think,
and we're going to get into this clip right here, is why they won't cry uncle.
the Iranians are prepared to accept as much damage as we want to inflict. And they also, I think, probably have some new capabilities up their sleeves. And they will employ everything they have and do what they've promised, which is to utterly eradicate all the remaining oil infrastructure in the Gulf, which would be disastrous for the rest of the world, because that means 10 years to recover.
And they hit up a lot of U.S. sites over there in the Middle East.
From this, we forget that Iraq took 20 years to recover from the damage done to its oil fields. So that would be bad for the whole world. And I think the Iranians will also find ways to reach our ships at sea and any other bases that we have.
They have a bunch of small boats. They have a lot of drones. Their munition is at, I think, 50%. They didn't burn out of their stuff like we did.
And do enormous damage to us there as well. But, you know, if you exclude up front any alternative to what you want to have in terms of victory, as Donald Trump has done, what do you do, Judge?
So they want to make a deal, but I'm not satisfied with it.
So here he goes. Now, they just countered our threat with a threat. Okay? They did that Thursday. They countered our threat with a threat. He gets on Friday morning and says they want to make a deal, but he's not satisfied with it. Let's go.
So we'll see what happens. Iran wants to make a deal because they have no military left, essentially, and they want to make a deal, but I'm not satisfied with it. There's tremendous discord. They're having a tremendous problem getting along.
He keeps saying that they're having discord. They're not getting along with each other. They're not even talking. Remember, they're talking through Pakistan. Again, I showed y'all a detailed video of how their military is built in its many sections. It's built that way for a reason.
With each other in Iran. The leadership is very disjointed. It's got 2 to 3 groups, maybe 4.
He don't understand it. That's his way, saying 2 to 3 groups, maybe 4. Their military has been this way for quite some time.
And it's a very disjointed leadership. And with that being said, they all want to make a deal, but they're all messed up.
Well, first of all, there is $1 million question. How long is it going to take?
This right here is what I'm trying to tell you Trump was waiting on. He's hoping and praying that this happens.
Clearly, the blockade is affecting their ability to get their oil out. Apparently, a few ships have slipped by, but it's been largely affected. There's this theory that the whole pipelines are about to bust because they've got no place to ship the oil out.
Bingo. They have nowhere to store it. Okay, if they run out of storage, I got 303 in the building, 29 likes. Can I get at least 30 more likes, please and thank you? Please and thank you. The likes are free to support the channel and keep me in the algorithm. Please and now I got what, 378 in the building. But this is what Trump, I'll restart the video when I get a couple more likes. But this is what Trump is banking on. Because they have nowhere to store their oil, he said a couple of days ago they only had 3 days. Again, that's not true. Insiders revealed that they have close to 3 weeks, I believe. Thank you to those that hit the like. Thank you.
We hope that it's going to be sooner than later. UAE obviously is.
Did y'all hear that? We're hoping that it will be sooner than later, because then he believes that they will want a deal. But here's the deal. It won't only just affect them. It will affect Saudi Arabia as well.
Not happy with OPEC. I don't think that the disintegration of OPEC is a bad thing at all for the United States of America. We'll see how that goes, but I think it's a crack in the armor for sure. But I do believe probably that by the middle or the end of June, this thing is going to be at a resolution, hopefully.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump is now claiming that asking Congress for authorization to go to war with Iran.
Yeah, now he's saying it's unconstitutional. Any way to get around something
is, quote, unconstitutional. According to many experts, he says he would not need to ask Congress for approval to continue going to war with Iran. It's not like he's done it already. He really hasn't. But one of the reasons why he says it's unconstitutional is because...
And I have a piece in here about Congress because there is a lot that they could have done that they're not doing.
Quote, no other country's ever done it before, but we're in the United States of America. We're not in any other country, and the laws of the United States apply, the War Powers Resolution, not the laws of any other country. Now, ultimately, it's not like Donald Trump is planning on asking for congressional authorization anytime soon, because the argument he's putting forth is that because there is a, quote, ceasefire in place, the 60-day timeline that you have to let Congress know about a war or...
And Congress politely told Pete Hegseth, that's not the way it goes. Again, for those that wasn't in here, we have a U.S. blockade, which is an act of war.
Continue hostilities is essentially over, essentially frozen. Remember, that's what the Trump administration is telling Congress, that the war is over because they don't want to have to get approval. But we do have a naval blockade in place. A naval blockade is an act of war under every international law. So that's where we're at. Spread the word, follow for more.
I don't think we have any active...
No, it's okay, Janice. I appreciate you hitting a like. What I can do, if I have to come back and beg for likes and start a video, I'll go straight to the comment section. So if you want your comment read, just put it in the chat. Thank you, Janice.
Kinetic military bombing.
Now, Speaker Johnson is also copping out and giving this lame excuse why, they feel like they shouldn't have to do anything with Congress.
Firing anything like that right now. We're trying to broker a peace, and I would be very reluctant to get in front of the administration in the midst of these very sensitive negotiations. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
But the Constitution specifically states 60 days.
Again, he said we're not at war.
But the president has called it a war. You're saying we're not at war right now?
I'm saying that we do not have kinetic military action at the moment. We're policing this.
He said policing. That's not the case.
Strait of Hormuz and trying to get to a peace. The president and the administration are moving as aggressively as
that is an act of war.
Possible. There's nothing Congress can do to move that along any further. So we'll see how it plays out. That's my position.
Why are you not seeking congressional approval to extend it?
Because it's never been sought before. There's been many times, and nobody's ever gotten it before. They consider it totally unconstitutional. But
who said that? Where is he getting this from? This is what I'm saying. Just making up stuff.
We're always in touch with Congress, but nobody's ever sought it before. Nobody's ever asked for it before.
They are always in touch with Congress. That's not true. Because if that's the case, this war wouldn't be going on right now.
It's never been used before. Why should we be different?
All right, it's day 60 of the war with Iran. Under the War Powers Act, that means that the president is required to get congressional authorization to continue military operations or begin a 30-day period where forces are to be withdrawn. The president, the White House have made it perfectly clear they are not going to do that. This is despite the fact that the law is clear on it, and there are some prominent Republicans among virtually all the Democrats in Congress that are saying it is a requirement.
Boom. So even the Republicans is saying it's a requirement. No respect for our Constitution. None. They want to run rogue. They want to commit war crimes. They want to break the law. They want to do whatever they want to do.
They've given a couple of reasons. They're contradictory reasons. One is that there was a ceasefire. And
I can guarantee you next election, and even with the midterms, the Democrats is in. They're in.
They've notified, I've got the letter here, they've notified the Speaker of the House that because of that ceasefire, which a few weeks ago, the war was effectively terminated. But I just talked to the president on the South Lawn as he was preparing to leave on Marine One, and I asked him about high gas prices. He told me that gas prices would come down very quickly after the war ends, which he...
And guess what? They are sky high. So he's saying the war is over since, the ceasefire. Again, it's the highest it's been in the last 4 years.
Said he expects to happen before long. In other words, the war's still going on. And also, he's made it clear that the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. naval blockade, is going to continue until Iran opens up the strait. Now, a naval blockade is an act of war.
Bingo. Again, an act of war.
So that continues. There's no drawdown of U.S. forces. The president was asked, if he was considering further military action. He says, I've got two choices. I'm either going to blast the hell out of them forever, or I will get them to make a deal. Well, blasting the hell out of them forever sure sounds like not just a continuation of the war, but an escalation.
Bingo. And I told you guys this. It will escalate. It's going to.
Of the war as one of the principal options now under consideration. The president also told me when I asked him about this 60-day deadline, he said other presidents, he said no other presidents ever asked for authorization, which is not true. I mean, clearly not true. But what is true is other presidents have ignored the War Powers Act. Bill Clinton, 1999, Kosovo, Barack Obama in Libya, both examples. There are Republican examples as well. And he said it's unconstitutional, and some people argue it is unconstitutional. But they are going.
Who believes that it's unconstitutional? Put it in the chat. If you believe that they're looking for an excuse. If you believe that it's unconstitutional, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. If you believe otherwise, put a 2 in the chat. Yeah, Canada. Yup, Moot. Canada said they backing away from us. Okay, let's go, y'all.
Going to continue and do what the president feels is right in Iran, regardless of any concern from Congress and regardless of a lack of military authorization, authorization from Congress to use.
And this is just why they're going to lose the midterms and everything else.
Military force. So that's the bottom line here. Big deadline, at least on paper, a big deadline, but a deadline that the White House feels they are under no obligation to meet.
It's been 60 days since President Trump informed Congress that the U.S. was engaged in hostilities with Iran, and that creates a deadline for the president and for Congress.
Okay, so I got a couple 1s. So you believe that it is unconstitutional. They shouldn't have to go to Congress. Okay, I only got 1, 2 that said that they don't believe that it is. Okay, let's take a look at this.
Vietnam era law.
Vietnam era law. Let's go back. Let's see when they put this into place. And they did this
because of that ceasefire.
They did this for a reason. They did this for a reason. So a president couldn't go rogue.
Iran opens up the strait. Now,
hold on, let me take it back. Sorry,
he said no other.
Congress that the U.S. was engaged in hostilities with Iran.
Sorry, y'all. I'm messing this up.
Ignored the War Powers Act. Bill Clinton, 1999, Kosovo, Barack Obama in Libya, both examples. There are Republican examples as well. And he said it's unconstitutional, and some people argue it is unconstitutional. But they are going to continue and do what the president feels is right in Iran, regardless of any concern from Congress and regardless of a lack of military authorization, authorization from Congress to use military force. So that's the bottom line here. Big deadline, at least on paper, a big deadline, but a deadline that the White House feels they are under no obligation to meet.
All right, now pay attention to this next clip because this is going to tell you why and when.
In 60 days since President Trump informed Congress that the U.S. was engaged in hostilities with Iran, and that creates a deadline for the president and for Congress. Under a Vietnam-era law, the president must get Congress's permission to deploy U.S. troops in hostilities for more than 60 days. The administration is arguing that that 60-day deadline doesn't apply because of a ceasefire that was reached several days ago with Iran.
So they're saying it's unconstitutional, and now they're making up their own rules to the game, to the law.
We are in a ceasefire right now, which our understanding means the 60-day clock pauses or stops in a ceasefire. You're not in.
Where did he get that from? He just pulled that out of his ass.
Yeah, it's our understanding, just so you know. Okay, well, I do not believe the statute would support that.
There was a vote yesterday in Congress, and one Republican changed sides, Senator Susan Collins of Maine, voting along with Democrats calling for an end of the U.S. war with Iran. So at this point, the president has enough votes to continue his war with Iran. But the real question for Americans and the real thing that's going to rise politically is what happens now in terms of gas prices? When does the war end? What can Congress do to shorten it?
We have no exit strategy.
And how will the president end a war that continues to loom over the midterm elections?
Congress has. Now we're going to get into Congress because here's the thing, and I feel this way. I hear a lot of them talk, but they're only going but so far. There is more that they can do.
The power to stop a president from carrying out an illegal war. They just like to say that they're not going to do anything when presidents do that because he is not the first one to carry out an illegal war. When Congress says, well, you can't do this because you don't have congressional approval, they're not saying that they oppose the illegal war. They're saying you should have asked us for permission to do it first. So we are looking at a Congress that has not done much to even strongly condemn the fact that this regime in this country carried out not only an illegal, but an unprovoked attack upon another sovereign country.
So I feel some type of way towards Congress. I do.
You had the CENTCOM commander come in here yesterday. Was he briefing you on a different...
Again, his very first briefing with CENTCOM, the military.
Approach options. What kind of options? How would it look different?
There are options. I mean, do we want to go and just blast the hell out of him and finish him forever, or do we want to try and make a deal? I mean, those are the options.
Do you want to go blast the hell out of him?
I prefer not.
Forever?
On a human basis, I prefer not. But that's the.
You see, he's choosing his words wisely now because he knows that his words in the past hurt him. It hurt the Republican Party altogether.
Do we want to go in there heavy and just blast them away, or do we want to do something? They're a very disjointed leadership, as you can understand, Peter. Very disjointed.
He keep putting that out there.
This is breaking news. Iran just presented their latest proposal to Pakistani mediators. President Trump just said he's not satisfied with it and not certain if Iran is ever going to make a deal.
They've made strides, but I'm not sure if they ever get there.
I believe both sides, they just need to get the blockade open.
We have some big news tonight. Russia is celebrating as the United States.
Boom. Didn't I tell y'all the other day I went live that was a win for Russia? Us pulling troops from Germany is a win for Russia. I told y'all that. They had a celebration. They was partying.
Of America has announced it will be drawing down 5,000 troops in Germany.
Let me take that back. I told y'all. And sure enough,
Leadership, as you can understand, Peter,
he was on the phone for almost 2 hours with Putin. The day before that, Putin met with Iran's prime minister and vowed to stand by and to support them. Okay? Now remember, Russia and Ukraine is fighting. We aid Ukraine. Trump recently got called out for not giving them aid finances. And then he ended up giving it up when he was called out. But I told you guys, Russia was going to be happy. This is a win for Russia. And sure enough, they were celebrating.
This is breaking news. Iran just presented their latest proposal to Pakistani mediators. President Trump just said he's not satisfied with it and not certain if Iran is ever going to make a deal.
The same Russia that is supplying Iran with drones and intelligence.
they've made strides, but I'm not sure if they ever get there.
We have some big news tonight. Russia is celebrating as the United States of America has announced it will be drawing down 5,000 troops in Germany. New reporting from Reuters confirms this drawdown. It's likely being done in response.
My next clip will be addressing this, and it's sad that he is using our troops as pawns because his feelings got hurt. And I'm trying not to curse.
To the German chancellor, blasting Donald Trump on multiple occasions over his failures in Iran. Now, why is Russia celebrating this? Well, it's celebrating because the United States is actively losing influence militarily in Europe. Pulling back 5,000 troops from Germany isn't just a symbolic move. It's a sign to Russia that the United States is pulling back on support for Ukraine and support for other European allies. 5,000.
We're getting ready to be alienated.
From Germany today, Trump has said he may pull out troops from Italy, from Spain, and potentially even other European countries in response to what he claims NATO did not do for him. So a very serious shift in the world order happening in real time. I'll have more.
You think so, Michael? What's up, Michael? You said Russia could take Ukraine after the first week of war. They're playing the same politics. Dang. Thank you.
Updates for you soon. Follow for more.
Does this guy know how to do anything else besides using our military for his personal leverage? Because he got his feelings hurt. He's pulling 5,000 troops from Germany. Merz accused U.S. officials of entering a war without a clear strategy, and that this whole affair is ill-considered, to say the least. Merz also said the Iranians are obviously very skilled at negotiating, or rather, very skillful at not negotiating, letting the...
That part, they are very skillful at not negotiating.
Americans travel to Islamabad and then leave again without any result. Dump truck didn't like that. Trump said Merz doesn't know what he's talking about. So Trump's just going to pull troops out of Germany, not because of strategy or a conflict was...
I'm going to be honest. I was wrong the other day. I didn't think that he was going to do it so quickly because of the ties and because of equipment and things that we got over there in Germany. But I was wrong.
Ended, but because he's fucking petty. The term global temper tantrum is being used over and over, and Trump's face is written all over it. The rest of the world is watching this childish behavior, and I'm sure their jaw is just dropping. Actually, it's not just childish, it is disgusting. Our troops are being tossed around because of his puny, tiny, little, fragile ego. I am mortified.
Diamond Gang, I got 67 likes. Can I please give me about 33 more likes, please and thank you. I got 272 in the building. Michael Cox says, Putin is smart, KGB, and still operational as KGB leader. See, I didn't know that, Michael. Ooh. All right, let's go.
For our country. We have no more allies. We've gone from being the leader of the free world to the global bully. We are a complete and utter liability to every country in the world.
Yeah, because my next clip will be about Canada. Canada said, they pulling ties. Thank you, Diamond Gang, for hitting a like. It helps keep me in the algorithm. I appreciate all of you. If you would like to support the channel, the Cash App is pinned. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's go.
And what's sad, even when he's gone, trust doesn't automatically snap back. They are fucking shameful.
That's what I'm scared of. Like, this is not going to be good.
In the latest, we're being told that the United States is withdrawing 5,000 troops from Germany. Are leading European nations like Germany now bearing the brunt of this war as well?
There's an overspill effect. There's a level of frustration that President Trump has had with the European members of NATO. I mean, Germany in particular has been very slow.
And because he don't understand defense, that is what they're for. He just feels like he could just pull them in and ask for help whenever. It don't go that way. It does not go that way.
In sort of upping its defense spending, that it's taken very significant steps. This was in his first presidency a demand of President Trump. So what's happening in terms of U.S. relations with Europe, and in particular the U.S.
He went in cahoots with Netanyahu and made that decision without our allies. Okay? He's on the offense. We're not on the defense on this one. That is their position.
Drawing some 5,000 of its 36,000 troops in Germany that have historically been there since the Second World War, over 80 years, that is drawing those down is symbolic
over 80 years, our allies.
The commitment the United States has to the ongoing war with Iran, President Trump's frustration about European countries not doing enough to support A, NATO, which they've been increasing to do, but B, support the United States in the war in Iran.
Why would they? That is not their position. So why would they? And because he can't get it through his thick ass skull, this is what he's doing. He's alienating us.
There's a very deep frustration on that part from President Trump. He's been very heavily critical of European leaders. Friedrich Merz, the German chancellor, was very critical publicly, the first European leader to be so publicly critical of President Trump and his handling of the war in Ukraine, calling it a humiliation.
Hi, Cynthia. Thanks for coming through.
For the United States, saying that the United States didn't have a strategy here. And that's really rankled President.
You said sanctions, sanctions, sanctions. Only this he can do. You're not lying. Is it booty or Buddha? Bud? It's Bud. Okay. Yeah, that's all he knows. You get a sanction. You get a sanction. You get a sanction. Ugh.
President Trump at a time when he's falling out with one of his sort of key European allies, the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. President Trump has criticized the Pope. Of course, the Pope's, the Holy See is in Rome. The Vatican City is in Rome. And the Giorgia Meloni, not unsurprisingly, has...
The king put him in check. He was quiet.
sided with the Pope, so that's created tensions there. The Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez hasn't allowed U.S. bases in Spain. The Spanish Prime Minister hasn't allowed U.S. bases in Spain to be used for strikes against Iran. That's rankled President Trump. President Trump has criticized.
He was super mad. Spain said, "Nope, you can't use us."
The UK for not doing enough, and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has also shown his frustrations, spoken of his frustrations with the pressure that's come and the language that's being used by President Trump. So
totally disrespectful. That's another thing. And just like Bud said, sanctions. You put sanctions on our allies.
There is a real change in the relationship, the transatlantic relationship going on right now.
But, you know what I'm saying? Lifted the sanctions off of Russia. Make that make sense. May 16th, it is due to expire. I guarantee you he do it for a third time. I bet you.
This is the biggest manifestation, this removal of 5,000 troops from Germany. And
you release sanctions off of the country that is helping Iran. Make it make sense.
Also, it casts an ever-growing shadow of the U.S. commitment to supporting Europe and Ukraine in the invasion over 4 years ago, the war of choice, the illegal invasion of Ukraine by Vladimir Putin, that's still ongoing and grinding away at the country, and that overspills and affects Europe. All of that's in play.
One of America's top allies, Canada.
Bingo, let's go. We're getting ready to get into Canada. Diamond Gang, can I please get 24 more likes? I got 209 in the building. Please and thank you. Hi, Biff. All right, let's go.
Is now saying it's time to move away from the United States. Mark Carney, the prime minister, said something that should really get our attention. This should horrify us. He said that what used to be strengths, close ties to the United States, have now become weaknesses. Take a look.
Foundations of the
Listen up. Listen up, y'all. Thanks for hitting a like.
International order, the order which Canada helped to build and from which we have long benefited, that order is crumbling. And many of our former strengths, built on our close ties to the United States, have become our weaknesses. The U.S. has changed. That's their right. And we are responding. That is our imperative.
This is crazy, y'all. This is insane.
Responding with speed and ambition, focusing on what we can control, which is to build our strength at home and diversify our partnerships abroad. Abroad, we've secured more than 20 economic and security partnerships across 4 continents in less than a year. We're re-engaging with global giants like India, China, and Brazil. And we're deepening our partnerships with our closest allies, including the European Union, the Nordic countries, and Australia.
Y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I got to take this back. They done. They like, Let's go.
That is our imperative.
They said the U.S. can change all they want to. That's our prerogative.
Take a look.
Foundations of the international order, the order which Canada helped to build and from which we have long benefited, that order is crumbling. And many of our former strengths, built on our close ties to the United States, have become our weaknesses. The U.S. has changed. That's their right. And we are responding. That is our imperative. We are responding with speed and ambition, focusing on what we can control, which is to build our strength at home and diversify our partnerships abroad. Abroad, we've secured more than 20 economic and security partnerships across 4 continents in less than a year. We're re-engaging with global giants like India, China, and Brazil. And we're deepening our partnerships with our closest allies, including the European Union, the Nordic countries, and Australia. As a result, We're attracting the strongest investment in the G7. And we're on track to double our non-U.S. exports within a decade.
They cutting ties. Canada is cutting ties. They want nothing to do with our asses. Wake up, people. Wake up. Let's go.
Uh-oh. Now, if you just glance at the tone, because Mark Carney is very polite, and I don't want to stereotype Canadians as polite, although they've always been very polite to me, and I will be back in Canada within just a couple of weeks, and they're going to be polite again. They always are. This is pretty serious. It turns out that having an untrustworthy president as a partner tells you we've got to diversify. And when he says we've doubled non-U.S. imports, that means we are increasingly getting more and more stuff from someone else. This relationship with Canada has been a foundation of Western alliances for decades. And Mark Carney now says
this man is single-handedly destroying us. Destroying us. This is insane.
It's kind of a liability. The U.S. has changed. Now, this is, of course, their right to change their forward-going economic decisions.
To be looked at as a liability? Insane.
And he is also correct that the partnerships with the United States when Trump is president aren't super reliable. If you are a foreign government and you want to plan long-term policy, long-term trade, long-term intelligence sharing, you need predictable.
Diamond Gang, please and thank you. Hit me with 15 more likes. Please and thank you. When Trump actually has any good ideas and follows the Constitution, then he will get more support. Yeah. Yeah. Have to remember Russia lost 25 million people in World War II. They are hardened people by war, not weak. All right, let's go.
Partners. You need to know if we get into an agreement, it's going to hold. It's not going to be 10% tariff today and 50% tomorrow, and then we're done next week, and then we're back on in 3 months. That doesn't make sense. You can't plan that way. Commitments have to mean something. Otherwise, the policy swings wildly every few months or years. And under Trump.
Okay, Christine said Canada was overpaid for a bunch of its jobs. Excuse me. Please and thank you. You are the magic words, according to Barney. Thank you. I'll take it. It wasn't too disrespectful. Israel is not enough for America as an ally. Yeah, I know. I don't know what we're going to do, y'all. We're in trouble. Oh, tech. It's tech jobs. I got you. Okay.
There is zero.
You know what? Correction. Let me read that all over again for you, Christine. Canada was overpaid for a bunch of its tech jobs. Got you. Okay. Let's go.
No predictability. The U.S., from their perspective, is not a stable anchor. It is more like a wet noodle flapping in the wind. And so countries don't just go, well, we don't like that. They adapt. China has adapted. When Trump put the tariffs on China, when we were liberated as liberators, and our soybean exports to China went to zero, China said, all right, well, we still want soybeans. Let's figure out someone else to get them from, Brazil and other countries. And they did.
This is insane. Our economy is going to be...
And so now Trump is begging them to start 1 or 2% of the total soybean exports. They are bragging, the Trump administration is, hey, we got soybean exports from zero to something. Yeah, but that something is 98% lower than it was before you screwed everything up. And so Canada and others are hedging. They're building alternative alliances. They're reducing their dependence on the United States. I don't like that. This is bad.
I don't like it either. I don't. Now we're getting ready to get in the foolery because, of course, he crashed out on True Social too.
So this is what Donald Trump did in the middle of his speech in Florida
Oh, yeah, his speech in Florida last night. Let's go.
today. I don't know.
Come on, darling. The mother's screaming like crazy. Darling, I love you, darling.
Listen, I've seen this 20 times today. I'm not going to lie. I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
Mom, I can't do it.
Yeah. That right there is the president of the United States in front of the entire country, just embarrassing himself, humiliating himself on the stage. And I looked into what exactly he was doing, like what is happening here. And apparently he's doing an impersonation of a trans weightlifter.
That's not good either. That is not good either.
President of the United States is doing that. I remember when Joe Biden would breathe and Republicans would take issue with it. But when Donald Trump is doing stuff like this, behaving like this in front of the entire country and the entire world, oh, they laugh along. They think it's great. They think it's appropriate for the president to be doing that. They are insane.
We have some major news tonight. Donald Trump is now saying that the United States military...
Y'all ready? He said he getting Cuba next. He just going to go, once he get done bombing Iran, they just going to fly over Cuba and take over. Y'all ready? Meanwhile, like our munitions is down bad. They're asking for billions of dollars. Some of that stuff is going to cost billions and millions to get fixed or get, replaced. Like, let's go. Our stockpile is low. Let's get it.
Will be taking Cuba almost immediately. That's a direct quote from the president. Now, obviously, we don't know what this exactly means, but he was saying that on the way back from Iran, the United States military, and specifically an aircraft carrier, may just stop by Cuba. This is what he's saying. And the Cuban government will essentially fold. Now, we know from USA Today reporting and others that the United States military has been preparing for military action in Cuba.
Diamond Gang, please and thank you. I got 235 in the building. Could I get 12 more likes? 12 more. Now it dropped down to 215. I just need 12 more likes, please and thank you. If you would like to support the channel, the Cash App is pinned. Real soon, I will be only going horizontal. I will not be going vertical. So if you would like, please subscribe to the channel. Keep your notifications on. I give war updates at least 5 times a week. I might miss a day here and there, but I'm normally on. All right, let's go, Diamond Gang.
What that looks like, though, not fully clear. Does that mean military strikes? Does that mean boots on the ground invasion? Does that mean an abduction of a Cuban leader like what we saw with Maduro? We don't know. But what we do know is that after Iran, which...
Hold on, let me stop that. Did you know China owns 40% of our hog farms? Remember old saying, living high on a hog, not common hog farmer. What? No, I didn't know that, Michael. Thank you.
The United States military apparently is done with. At least that's...
Mike, you're going to have to come up here one day just to, talk. You're going to have to hit that link.
Trump told Congress. Cuba is next. So we'll have to see what happens next. I'll have more updates for you very soon. As always, spread the word and follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about.
An architect who's really talented, done a lot of...
And here he goes. He's going to say it right out of his mouth. Little Marco is behind the Cuba BS. Who's Little Marco? Here he is. He's about to put it in the chat for me.
Work for him. He's got a flair, a beautiful Hispanic flair in particular. And he comes from originally a place called Cuba, which we will be taking over almost immediately. No, Cuba's got problems. We'll finish one first. I like to finish a job.
What's funny about this? There's nothing funny about this.
On the way back from what we'll do, on the way back from Iran, we'll have one of our big, maybe the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, the biggest in the world. We'll have that come in, stop about 100 yards offshore.
Do you know that he wants to be labeled as the most powerful man in the world? Yeah. I should have got that clip. Yeah. He wants that title.
And they'll say, thank you very much. We give up.
is now day 64 of the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran. Here's a roundup of what happened in the past 24 hours. Iran submitted a revised peace proposal via Pakistani mediators today, which President Trump swiftly rejected, stating he is not satisfied with the terms. The Trump administration effectively bypassed the war powers resolution deadline today, as Secretary Pete Hegseth argued that the ceasefire with Iran effectively pauses or stops the 60-day clock, which
This is just a brief review of everything that we just talked about, gang.
Technically allows the U.S. to maintain troop presence without a congressional vote. This comes as many U.S. lawmakers signal a potential resumption of the war. Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal indicated.
And I told you guys that this is going to resume. It's going to resume. Now that he just flew past Congress and basically said, the hell with the Constitution. Yeah, he's going to, he has no choice. He has no other alternative.
That a direct U.S. military strike against Iran is now very much on the table, describing major escalation as imminent. Israel's Channel 12 reported yesterday that Israel is bracing itself for the collapse of negotiations between Washington and Tehran and resumption of all.
They can't wait. It's not like they paid attention to the ceasefire anyway. Israel do what Israel wants to do. They have no respect for us or President Trump.
All-out war. Channel 12 also said that 2 ships and several cargo aircraft have arrived in Israel, carrying thousands of aerial and ground munitions, as well as military equipment, totaling 6,500 tons, as part of preparations for the renewal of the war with Iran. Meanwhile, the U.S. continues its blockade of Iranian ports. The Treasury Department warned shippers today that paying tolls to Iran for safe passage will trigger sanctions. This is while U.S. gas prices have risen to a national average of $4.41, with California surpassing $6 as the blockade keeps.
California is now at $6. Brace yourselves.
Tanker traffic at a standstill. The U.S. Navy has awarded a $100 million contract to San Francisco-based AI firm Domino Data Lab to accelerate the detection of underwater mines in the Strait of Hormuz. The move comes as the Trump administration scrambles to secure the world's most vital energy artery, and as Trump admitted that U.S. forces are still struggling to clear Iranian mines, a process that military experts warn could take months of labor. For the third consecutive
months of labors. So just imagine to get the mines, just imagine to get that enriched uranium that's buried, how long it will take. This is not going to be over anytime soon. I'm just being honest. Diamond Gang, I need 6 more likes. I'm at 94 likes. Please and thank you. Yeah. You said this is getting close, yo. Second coming time. Yeah. James said Epstein. All right, let's go. Thanks, gang.
Day, emergency medical teams and civil defense crews in Lebanon are continuing debris removal operations, searching for missing individuals after Israeli airstrikes. Israel continued airstrikes across southern Lebanon today, with at least 10 people killed thus far, including a woman and
Israel never stopped. They never stopped. They were making up imaginary lines and reasons to attack.
Child. Hezbollah retaliated by launching drones and rockets into northern Israel, which injured 2 Israeli soldiers, as well as 5 separate operations targeting Israeli troop gatherings in southern Lebanon. The UN Refugee Agency warned today that the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran has sharply increased the cost and time required to deliver humanitarian aid, disrupting supply routes and delaying relief for some of the world's most vulnerable populations, especially across Africa.
Yep. You said the mines he speaks about is the bombs in the straits. Yep. Mitch. What's up, Mitch?
So all wars are political, but the war in Iran right now is feeling extra.
Yes, those missing scientists. What y'all think about that? I don't know what to think. All right, let's go.
Partisan. And I feel like that's driven home in every poll and story and news publication and politician that speaks. Generally speaking, we've got Republicans in favor of the war, supportive of the war, Democrats opposed to it, and then independents have generally been skewing against. And this is driven home in a new survey by the Washington Post, ABC.
I'm doing good. I'm just happy to see you back. I am. I love my audience. All right, let's go, y'all. I can't wait to get to the comment section.
News Ipsos, where they found that 91% of Democrats think it was a mistake to kick off the war in Iran. 79% of Republicans think it was the right move to kick off a war in Iran. See how drastically opposed those are? Now, the independent one here is actually pretty important. 71% of independents think it was a mistake, compared with only 24% of independents that think it was the right decision. Overall, what that has led to, and I'm generally seeing this in most polls right now, 61% of the Americans surveyed, so it's 2,560 U.S. adults between April 24th and 28th, so just a few days ago, 61% say that it was a mistake to kick off the war with Iran, compared with only 36% that say it was the right decision. So overall, still very much a left.
Yep. So overall, people are against it.
Right divide, but it looks like more and more we're seeing the independents shift more into the anti-war or opposed to this war camp than necessarily in favor.
Last night, Donald Trump had a late night meltdown on social media, which...
Y'all ready for this? He crashes out on a regular. He does not get sleep at all. He was up at 4 in the damn morning, acting a fool. Let's go.
Includes him posting a photo of him, JD Vance, and other members of his team shirtless swimming in the reflecting pool in DC. And I'm not joking. And actually, his posting spree started with that photo. At 11:03 p.m., he posted this AI image of him, JD Vance, Marco Rubio, Doug Burgum, shirtless in the reflection pool in Washington, D.C. He's being very generous to his body right there. But this is a real post from the president of the United States in the middle of the night. Then at 11:04 p.m., he posted this very weird photo of Melania Trump smiling after the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Just really strange. At 11:13 p.m., he called Hakeem Jeffries low IQ and called him a thug, another blatantly racist attack.
Y'all hear that? He called him low IQ and a thug. This is disgraceful.
From Donald Trump. Then at 11:15, he posted this meme of him holding Uno cards saying, I have all the cards. Yes, the cards of the Epstein file.
Listen, here he goes, still taunting and picking. Negotiating through social media. Let's go.
Really strange. At 11:13 p.m., he called Hakeem Jeffries low IQ and called him a thug, another blatantly racist attack from Donald Trump. Then at 11:15, he posted this meme of him holding Uno cards saying, I have all the cards. Yes, the cards of the Epstein file cover up, war, and the economy sucking. Nice job. Then at 11:22, he posted this outline of him in gold. I don't know. 11:26 was a photo of him on Mount Rushmore. This has all taken place in like 20 minutes.
This is what he's doing several nights a week. Crashing out, threatening people, being racist, ignorant, and just rude.
It's 11:32, a photo of him and Melania, who hates him. 11:37, a photo of him and King Charles. 11:40, he said, this is what our country was before and after Trump. And it apparently is a photo taken under Obama's term of the reflection pool in DC. And then Trump's, who knows when this photo came from, but he's really focused on this body of water. And he continues, 11:41, another photo about the reflection pool. And then finally, 11:45, the final post of the night, another post about the reflection pool in DC. I will continue to say this about Donald Trump, and I won't stop until he's out of office. He is clearly unwell. This is not a sane individual when he's doing stuff like this on social media.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump had one of those bizarre Truth Social nights he's had in a long time. We're literally posting images.
I don't know if he believes people see most of the stuff or he just don't give a damn.
Of Trump, Vance, Rubio, Doug Burgum, the Interior Secretary, and a random woman swimming in the reflecting pool in front of the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. Trump is really into making this reflecting pool into a swimming pool style situation. People aren't actually going to be swimming in it. I was there the other day. It just looks like blue paint on concrete. That's all it is. But this is what the president's been posting all night. And then he's also calling House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries a thug. That's also what he decided to post overnight while you were asleep. It's just that double standard that we're constantly seeing from folks. If any other president did this, there would be mass outrage. But for Donald Trump, this is just a normal Saturday overnight rant. But I think it's important that we just don't normalize things like this, which is why I keep talking about it and keep showing it to you, because it is not normal and shouldn't be normal from the president.
That part, it's not normal.
Follow for more.
I heard Hakeem Jeffries, a low IQ person. He's a very low IQ, screaming today that the Supreme Court is.
This is the most ignorant shit that I've ever heard come out of a president's mouth. It is disgusting and foul.
Illegitimate. I mean, that's a dangerous statement. And if I say something modest, they say, oh, he's a king, he's a king. They're sick.
You got nothing better to do but obsess about me all day, every day? I mean, the country is falling apart. You are destroying the economy in real time.
Bingo, in real time. You understand? I'm going to bring this back just a little bit. This is what your president is doing. Hold on. This is sad.
Costly war of choice. That is.
Go back. All right.
It is illegitimate. I mean, that's a dangerous statement. And if I say something modest, they say, oh, he's a king, he's a king. They're sick.
You got nothing better to do but obsess about me all day, every day? I mean, the country is falling apart. You are destroying the economy in real time. We need an intervention because you clearly are not focused on the things that matter, like ending your reckless and costly war of choice that has increased gas.
That's going to cost the Republicans their seats. I promise you.
Gas prices, sending them skyrocketing out of control. And yet you've got time to constantly have me on your mind. What's wrong with you, man? You doing all right? And yes, I criticized the Supreme Court brutally. And if I said it, I meant it.
Donald Trump just criticized you again on social media. What's your response?
I gotta play this one more time.
Something is really wrong with you, bro. You got nothing better to do but obsess about me all day, every day? I mean, the country is falling apart. You are destroying the economy in real time. We need an intervention because you clearly are not focused on the things that matter, like ending your reckless and costly war of choice that has increased gas prices, sending them skyrocketing out of control. And yet you've got time to constantly have me on your mind. What's wrong with you, man? You doing all right? And yes,
Not only that, he has time to make multiple threats, request Jimmy Kimmel to be fired, just dumb shit.
I criticized the Supreme Court brutally. And if I said it, I meant it.
All right, so we are now 60 days into the war with Iran, and so far we have met 0 out of 4 stated objectives from the White House. Now, that doesn't mean that
Boom. 0 out of 4 objectives. And guess what? One of them is the Straits, which wasn't one originally because it was opened. Let's go.
we can't or we won't meet those objectives, just that as of right now, we haven't. And it still could be a while before we do. Now, getting into those 4 objectives laid out by the White House shortly after hostilities.
Still yet, we going over there to Cuba next. We're going to Cuba. We ain't even hit not one of our goals. Not one. But we hit it to Cuba.
Began 1, the destruction of the Iranian regime's missiles, 2, the annihilation of their navy, 3, ensure that terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the world, and 4, ensure Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon. And we're going to run through those. So first off, the destruction of the Iranian regime's missiles. No doubt there's been progress there. We've seen the videos. A lot of their missile launchers have been destroyed, a lot of missiles buried underground, and Iran fired a lot of them, right? So they don't have those anymore. However, about 2 weeks ago, the head of the U.S. Defense Intelligence.
Pay attention, because 2 weeks ago, if you was in my live stream, I broke down where we were at as far as munition wise, what we had in our stockpile and what they had. I broke it down.
Agency, Lieutenant General Adams, said that Iran still retains thousands of missiles and one-way attack drones. So when you're
thousands of missiles and one-way attack drones, where y'all think they getting those drones from? Russia. The same Russia that President Trump was on the phone with a couple of days ago for almost 2 hours. The same Russia that went to Iran and sat with the prime minister and vowed to support them to the end. The same Russia that we lifted sanctions from twice, which is due to expire the 16th of this month. And I freaking guarantee y'all, we're going to do it again for them. Let's go.
You're looking at this one, we're not going to get them to zero. And that the White House, the Pentagon never said that as an explicit goal. But the idea here is trying to get them reduce their ability to project.
The same Russia that threw a party last night because we pulled 5,000 troops out of Germany.
Power across the region or protect their nuclear ambitions with those missiles. And they still can. So while the first objective is ongoing, I think it would not be accurate to say that we have successfully destroyed the Iranian regime's missiles. Second is the annihilation of their Navy. Another one where, look, we've sunk just about every boat the Iranian Navy has, a large boat the Iranian Navy has. However, they still have.
Here's the problem, those small boats. I showed y'all a month ago the damage that those small boats could do to a big ship. I showed y'all that. Let's go.
Have capability. All right, so they still have mines that they put out in the Strait of Hormuz. They have found out that through mines, fast attack boats, they have a ton of those, and drones, they're able to exert control over this strategic waterway. So if we've destroyed, the physical aspects of their Navy, but their Navy still is able to project power and influence the war in the Strait, I would say that their Navy has not yet been annihilated. Third is ensuring the terrorist proxies can no longer destabilize the world. This one's incredibly messy because that's relationships. And I just don't know that we've ever been able to destroy relationships with bombs. Now, the Houthis have not gotten involved as some might have expected.
Remember the other day I went live and I played the clip that said, we have never been able to bomb our way to a win. Remember, for those that was in here, we've never been able to do that. Let's go.
But Hezbollah is still fighting. Hamas is kind of on their deathbed and has been for a while. But then the Iranian-backed Shia militias throughout Iraq are pretty consistently carrying out attacks against U.S. and allied bases in the region. It's hard to say right now if the proxies are significantly degraded or not. Those relationships certainly still exist. So at the very least, we could say ongoing. But there's no indications that those relationships are gone.
You said our Marines are trained to handle small boats. We shall see. We shall see. And we sank a 50-year-old Navy that we gave them something to be proud of. Ever think about how North Korea is listening? Yeah, they are. All right, let's go.
Fourth one here is the ensure.
Let me say this. All opinions will be respected over here, even if it's opposing of mine. You just can't be disrespectful. If you're disrespectful, the mods will move you. You can say whatever you want to say. Just misspell your cuss words. Even if you're saying, whatever I'm saying, I'm totally wrong. You have the right to say that. This is a safe space. You could say that. You just can't be disrespectful.
That Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon. Secretary Hegseth brought this up a couple days ago when he was on the Hill. When he was pressed, he said, hey, we are still damaging their facilities. And somebody said, but I thought you obliterated them during Midnight Hammer. He said, yeah, but they still have the desire to get a nuclear weapon. That's kind of where things sit today. We know that all of the highly enriched uranium still sits inside of Iran. They still have that in their control. Whether they can access it or not, who knows? But they still have that. So they still clearly have the desire, according to the U.S., of obtaining.
Oh, yeah. Now they have the desire more than ever because they said we're not getting anything. They're not giving it up. So we had them to a point where they were agreeing to give it up. And I said this. We were in the 6 rounds of negotiations when Israel decided to bomb, and then we followed suit. So, yeah, let's go.
a nuclear weapon probably set back a little ways, but even an Israeli assessment recently talked about how if we stop today, Iran would restart that nuclear program in the blink of an eye. So again, you can say that the eradication of the nuclear program and making sure they never have a nuclear weapon in the future is on track, or we're heading in that direction, but that objective has not been met. Now, the one kind of elephant in the room here is the Strait of Hormuz. That was not listed as a U.S. wartime objective before the conflict started, because that would have been weird. The Strait of Hormuz was open. But it's pretty clear at this point that that is becoming a focus of any of the negotiations, any of the talks. So technically, not technically, but as of today, that is still closed. Iran maintains control who is able to pass through that. Now, the U.S. has a blockade as well, making sure that Iran can't pass through that either. But that's going to be a fifth kind of war aim that we should probably tack on to the end. Now, again, these objectives have not been accomplished yet. They still can be. They still might be. But as of today, I think it's pretty safe to say that we are, while on track, 0 for 4 with meeting the wartime objectives in Iran.
The U.S.
So 0 for 4, we haven't met any objectives. And we're on week 64. Remember, he said this would only take 3 to 4 weeks.
The president has said that he's not happy with Iran's latest proposal. He also says that U.S. could be better off if no deal is reached with Iran. Why so?
Yeah, it really seems that the president is now stuck and faced with a very difficult choice. Iran has a history of being expert at negotiating and taking very, very small steps in the negotiations, just enough, it seems, to sort of engage with President Trump, but not satisfy him. And the U.S. president wants to act fast. He wants to, it appears, to try to end this without.
He definitely wants this over. He wants to act fast. However, I believe that they're going to move extremely slow now because there is no trust.
Going back to war, but it does seem as if he is in a position where the White House needs to decide if it should engage and take this very slow process where Iran is negotiating from what they consider a strong position, or whether or not he should go back to war. And there's not a lot of appetite for that in the United States, and a questionable in the future legality surrounding that over the question of the U.S. War Powers Act. So this is a very, very difficult moment for the president. And I think there's a certain amount of frustration on his side. And the Iranians, although they don't want to go back to war, they say, and they are facing economic hardships, do feel that they can endure at the moment, and say, you know, speaking with Iranian officials, they do say that they are prepared for it.
That part, they are prepared to endure the pain. This is something that they have been enduring for decades on top of decades.
It goes back to war, they're prepared for that.
Hi, this is The Week in Trump. No jokes or commentary, just a...
All right, Diamond Gang, we're getting ready to be done with President Trump. I always play this guy. I think he's hilarious. He does a review on everything that Trump has said during the week. Then we are going to get into a little bit of the king, and we're also going to get into the correspondence dinner shooting. Okay, let's go.
Dry, matter-of-fact list of the Trump administration shenanigans this week that we would otherwise forget next week, for the week ending May 2nd, 2026. He said the shooting incident at the Correspondents' Dinner wouldn't have happened if he had his ballroom, blamed it on left-wing cults of hatred, and when asked if he feared injuries, said, "I wasn't worried. I understand life. We live in a crazy world," and called his interviewer horrible and a disgrace. Republicans now suggest taxpayers pay for the ballroom. He said Iran told him they're in a state of collapse and want to open the strait.
We went over that. When he said that they stated that they were in a state of collapse, he was hoping and banking on that 3-day time frame of them not having any more storage room left for their oil. And that was not the case.
As soon as they figure out who their leader is. James Comey was indicted again, this time for spelling 8647 in seashells. The president and first lady called for Jimmy Kimmel to be fired for a joke. His communications director called Kimmel a shit human being, and the FCC ordered a review of ABC's broadcast license. Kid Rock got to ride in an Army helicopter and address the Pentagon. The president...
That was insane. They literally had Kid Rock addressing the Pentagon. This is insane.
Revealed he'll be putting himself on U.S. passports. The White House openly called him a king. He controversially started
This administration will go down in history. Please notice. They will be in our children's history books.
Painting the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool blue. He cut in front of English royals to shake his own staff's hands. He said Ukraine was defeated militarily. An appeals court refused to hear his appeal of E. Jean Carroll's defamation case. He said the Iran war has been...
Yeah, they went to ask him about Ukraine. He went into a whole rant about Iran and was speaking as if it was Ukraine. Like, I can't make this up.
Terminated. He shared a picture renaming the Strait of Hormuz as the Strait of Trump. He told the German chancellor he should be focusing on fixing his broken country. He called Democrats talking about affordability a line of bullshit. He called Somalia dirty, filthy, and disgusting, and called Ilhan Omar despicable. He called the War Powers Act unconstitutional. He said suggesting we're not winning the war in Iran is treasonous. He compared the U.S. Navy to pirates and said,
I better be quiet or I'm going to be in trouble.
Blocking ships and taking over cargo is a very profitable business. He said we'll be taking Cuba almost immediately. He posted a series of self-aggrandizing AI images. He called Hakeem Jeffries low IQ and a thug. And although he says the Iran war is over, he's not satisfied with the latest peace proposal and is still considering blasting the hell out of them. Let me know what I missed in the comments.
Did he miss anything? If you guys think he missed anything, put it in the chat. He did a lot this week. A lot. Let's go.
And remember,
as King Charles's visit to the US comes to an end, I'm asking Brits what they make.
Now, she just asked a group of people. A lot of people was just like, whatever. They didn't really care.
Of UK-US relations.
I thought the whole thing was pretty unsatisfactory. Nothing can help the relationship. It's done. There were a few jibes there.
So do you guys think that it is like there's no chance in hell that we can strengthen our relationship again with NATO? They're saying, nah, the relationship is dead.
I suspect they went over Trump's head. But I think they were delivered with dignity. King Charles, I guess our number one diplomat. I think his speech was incredible. He did very well there, but who knows what happens in the next 3 days. Like last time, he got on very well with Trump, but it doesn't really matter in terms of the relationship ultimately.
A long time ago, I thought we should get rid of the monarchy. To be honest with you, I don't see them as a great benefit to England.
I mean, I'm not a royalist. I'm not a fan, but yeah, I think he behaved like a king. He showed how a king should behave.
Do you think it's important that the US and the UK...
Mitch, you said at this point now we cannot. Yeah. But hopefully after he is gone, NATO would allow us to rejoin. I hope so.
They have a good relationship.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's like constantly good to keep strengthening like bonds and relationships. And I think, it'll be like good for like trade deals and stuff.
They're our best allies.
Trump was very positive about America's British Anglo-Saxon heritage.
Always.
What do you think about that?
I'm happy to hear that, really. Yeah.
He loves all that. His mother was Scottish. The next day he'd be criticising like mad. It just seemed like a word salad, and I don't know what he was talking. I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
What do you think?
This is insane. He said he don't think he know what he's talking about.
Donald Trump.
He's good and bad. I can't say I dislike him. I can't say he's great, but some things he does is brilliant, and other things is just a little bit way off.
Trump will be back on whatever that thing is, True Social, in the next few days. It'll be the same old stuff. We don't care.
Donald Trump's FBI director, Kash Patel, seems like he's about to get fired.
Sorry, Diamond Gang. This is an update on Kash Patel. Remember, last week, there is rumors because of this, because of him allegedly being an alcoholic, that he is up on the chopping block. So let's go.
Sources are now telling Politico that Patel is likely the next cabinet official to go, with Pete Hegseth also kind of in that conversation. He might be on the chopping block as well. The official who spoke...
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Pete Hegseth will be on the chopping block, and he will go down in history. I believe that the president is going to put a lot of the blame on him. J.D. Vance is quiet for a reason. That's all I'm saying. He is not vocal about this war. He does not like what's going on. And he does plan on running, which I think is very wise of him. It's just to not say anything.
Anonymously said it's only a matter of time. And there are several reasons as to why Kash Patel might be fired, but mainly because of all of the negative headlines he's brought for the Trump administration. I mean, look, when there are serious allegations that you're drinking on the job and you get so intoxicated that you miss meetings and have to move things around.
And him just sitting there at the correspondence dinner, that didn't help either.
That's pretty bad. I think that warrants some firing. And now the odds for Kash Patel getting fired on prediction markets like Polymarket have spiked recently. It's now up to a 60% chance after previously being pretty low. It's now gone up rapidly because of the recent stories we've seen. Kash Patel is not qualified to be the director of the
And not only that, the way they handled the Epstein files was ridiculous.
FBI, never has been, never will be. If he gets fired tomorrow, that'll objectively be good for the United States.
The official story of the
Now we're going to get into the correspondence dinner. There's some things that's just not quite right. Let's go.
Shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner seems to have just completely collapsed with the revelation that the shooter may not have been a shooter at all. I will explain. I want to be clear about what we know, what's still investigated. We need to separate fact from fiction. Now, let's start with the primary sort of bullet point, which is the shooter ran past security and fired a bunch of rounds before being...
So they're trying to say that maybe none of those bullets came from his weapon. Let's go.
Stopped alive by Secret Service and police. That's the official story we started with. Over the last couple of days, a very different possibility has emerged. And I have to tell you, from the beginning, I found it sort of strange that if the shooter really fired 5 or 6 rounds, that he would be caught alive, that he wouldn't be killed.
That part, I did not get that. That was weird. He was not hit at all.
Especially when, by the standards that our law enforcement is expected to abide by, it would be completely legitimate in the eyes of the law to shoot dead a suspect that has gotten 5 or 6 rounds off, especially in that chaotic situation. I found it weird. It now appears as though the shooter may have fired 1 round or maybe even 0 rounds and would have been a potential shooter had he gotten close to Donald Trump, but not an actual shooter as was described. Todd Blanche was asked about this, the Attorney General, and he was asked, have you been able to determine whether the gunman fired any shots? And Blanche says, well, that is something we are still looking at. He is unable to say definitively that the shooter shot at all.
So they don't know. This is wild.
Have you been able to determine whether the gunman fired shots? If so, how many shots he fired, and who exactly, whose bullet hit the agent?
We want to get that.
So that is amping up the conspiracy theories right now, that this was staged.
Right. So we're still looking at that. It appears, and I don't want to overstate because we are still looking at this, that there were five shots that law enforcement fired.
Law enforcement fired.
We have all the evidence is being examined very carefully and expeditiously, and we'll know more soon. We do believe that as the complaint lays out, that the suspect, that the defendant fired it out of his shotgun, and we know that happened. But as far as getting into exacting ballistics, I'm not going to do that today because it's still being looked at and finalized.
Now, one of the fascinating things is that while he kind of throws in there Oh, yeah. We do know that the gunman did fire a shot, I guess. We are also hearing that they haven't found the bullet casings for any rounds fired by the shooter. And it was brushed off as, it's crazy. You don't always find that.
I'm going to walk you through chilling new video that was just released by authorities. Prosecutors say
All right, so we're going to look at it. Let's take a look at it.
Cole Thomas Allen checked into the Washington Hilton a day before the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And in this new video, you can see him casually walking around the hotel. It's possible this was an attempt by him to familiarize himself with the hotel before a planned attack. But here is the moment on Saturday when a peaceful night celebrating the First Amendment was shattered by gunfire. The event was already well underway, and officers began disassembling one of the metal detectors at a security checkpoint. In the background, you see who appears to be Allen leaving.
Plus, they said the dog was on to him, and they ignored the dog. So here's the deal. Why even have the K9 if you're going to ignore?
Through a doorway. Prosecutors added a white circle to the video showing his location. But look what's behind him. A police dog tugs at its leash, taking interest in that doorway, and then follows. The K9's handler then stops and appears to be speaking with someone off camera. Was he talking to the suspect? Authorities haven't said. Immediately after the officer turns, Allen comes sprinting towards the checkpoint, shotgun in hand. A Secret Service officer quickly draws his sidearm. Allen then points his shotgun at the officer. Authorities say they're confident Allen opened fire and the officer was hit by something.
What we do know is that he fired off that 12-gauge.
What if he was hit by one of the other officers? This isn't, you can't tell me that these guys are not sharpshooters. What is going on?
Shotgun. One time, the cartridge was still in the weapon.
On the video, you can see the officer opening fire on Allen multiple times. And at one point, another security agent appears to be in the line of fire. Inside the ballroom where the dinner was taking place, you can actually hear what appears to be gunshots erupting outside the room. Guests took cover as Secret Service agents stormed the stage. Allen was swarmed by agents outside the room and arrested. A CNN analysis of the video and audio from the ballroom doesn't definitively say when Allen fired, but the audio analysis does indicate 6 shots were fired. Officials said Allen shot once and the officer fired 5 times. Now, there have been conspiracy theories.
So now they're saying maybe once, maybe none. This is crazy.
Spreading like wildfire on social media. Some people claiming this is all a hoax and Allen never fired because you don't actually see a muzzle flash at the barrel of that shotgun. But let me point out another critical indicator here. When Allen points his weapon at the officer, look up and notice the ceiling lights at the top of the screen. You see what appears to be dust and debris passing by the lights. Now, I was an FBI agent and I carried a shotgun. It's a loud and powerful weapon. And I can tell you that dust and debris around those lights appears to be from the concussive blast of that firearm. Nothing else on video would explain dust kicking up like that. For his part, Allen remains in custody. He has not yet entered a plea. Among the charges.
Okay, what he says sound pretty good. It sound pretty good. So he's saying the dust kicking up had to be from that powerful shotgun.
He currently faces attempting to assassinate the president of the United States.
The breaking news: Trump is trying to stop more legal troubles for himself as he pushes.
Now, this is going to be the last piece, I believe. This is going to be about Comey and the seashells. Oh, boy, let's go.
For this legal trouble for James Comey, a judge in North Carolina has just set a May 11th preliminary hearing for Comey.
So he had to go in. Y'all.
The Greenville, North Carolina federal courthouse, which means James Comey will be a defendant in federal court again. This time in North Carolina, where typically they'll bring you up and process you. The U.S. Marshals will. Fingerprints, booking photo, defense lawyer, standing before a judge. There are very few people who think this case is going to end with a jury verdict of guilty.
Who thinks that there's going to be a guilty plea? I think that they're going to drop the charges just like they did the last time. If you think that there's going to be a guilty plea, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe that he's going to get off, they're going to drop the charges, put a 2 in the chat. I want to say thanks too for everybody that hit the like. Thank you so much. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. I really do.
Seashells 8647 threats case, but The pain of process will still be exacted on James Comey, and that begins about a week and a half from now at the federal court in North Carolina.
Oh no, my last is the airlines closing. Y'all, it's so sad. I had to get this for y'all. Let's go.
Meanwhile, back here in Washington, D.C., in court, Trump's lawyers, the Department of Justice, have just filed a new motion asking the court to halt or stay all discovery and future proceedings in the civil lawsuits Trump's been facing for January 6th. You know, he's been sued. Was sued almost immediately after the Capitol siege for damages from those who were victims of January 6th, including those connected with police and connected with law.
So they're asking for the courts to halt the proceedings, the civil cases on Trump. My.
Lawmakers who were either injured or trapped at the Capitol because of the Capitol attack by Trump supporters. What the Department of Justice is arguing in this new motion is that it's too burdensome to have the case continue because of the discovery process. Trump wants to stop the discovery, the gathering of evidence, the gathering of information.
This is insane.
Which is one of the components of these civil suits, try to figure out exactly what Trump did, exactly what Trump didn't do January 6, 2021, as his supporters attacked democracy and attacked the Capitol. So there is forward movement in the James Comey case in an effort to halt fully any forward movement in the January 6 case.
So great conversations occasionally.
All right, Diamond Gang. Spirit Airlines shuts down. A flight attendant gave a heartfelt announcement and a goodbye, and I got teary-eyed. I did this. He started crying. This was so sad. And then I also have the last flight. Let's go.
Or trapped at the Capitol because of the Capitol attack by Trump supporters. What the Department of Justice is arguing in this new motion is that it's too burdensome to have the case continue because of the discovery process. Trump wants to stop the discovery, the gathering of evidence, the gathering of information, which is one of the components of these civil suits, try to figure out exactly what Trump did, exactly what Trump didn't do January 6, 2021, as his supporters attacked democracy and attacked the Capitol. So there is forward movement in the James Comey case in an effort to halt fully any forward movement in the January 6 case.
So great conversations occasionally. A lot of crazy stuff has happened, but it's funny as we sit here, I'll speak for myself. I don't remember any of the bad times, just the good ones. So Spirit, believe it or not, started flying in 1983. I think it was called Charter Air at the time. And in 1992, it changed its name to Spirit. So we've been in the air since 1983. What is that? 43.
And here's the deal. Because of the high gas prices, it was going to happen. It just moved it quickly along because of what's going on right now with the war.
Years.
But we're going to hear the Republicans blame Joe Biden. Let's go.
And unfortunately, that's over. So thank you for your support over the years. And onward and upward, right? Let's go. God bless you all.
That's like the last thing I'm kind of seeing on here. So you might be the last one.
Might be a repo flight, but yeah, I guess this is it. Probably the last revenue flight. This is it tonight.
Well, it was a pleasure working with you guys, and I wish you the best.
And here, thank you very much.
Hey, Spirit, from us guys at American. Good luck to y'all. Sorry to hear what happened.
The last flight, y'all. This is so sad. So many people are going to lose their jobs.
We have some big news regarding the Spirit shutdown. So Spirit Airlines shut down today. The Trump administration is blaming Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg, the former transportation secretary, over what they claim led to the shutdown. Not the fact that there was soaring jet fuel prices because of the war in Iran that exacerbated an already existing problem, but they're putting the blame on Biden and Buttigieg. Now, meanwhile, we now have confirmation that due to the Spirit shutdown, about 17,000 employees and contractors will lose their jobs.
17,000. Do y'all know how hard it is to get a job right now? 17,000 people. 17,000. All right, y'all, let's go. This breaks my heart.
Effective today. Also, Trump is telling you, the Trump administration is telling you, if you have a Spirit Airlines flight that you've had booked, don't go to the airport. There will be no one to assist you.
Bart said, America barely survived the Biden disaster. Michael Cox said, other airlines said they will, hire the crews from Spirit Airlines. What? Mike, you're going to have to co-host with me one day. You want to? Put a yes in the chat if you want to. But I'm only accepting yes.
A number of airlines are offering support to try to book a flight, but there are plenty of passengers now stranded across the country due to this shutdown. I'll have more updates for you soon. As always, spread the word. Follow along, steps in on all the news you need to know about. There'll be more to come soon.
There was a proposed merger between JetBlue and...
Now, this is Duffy. He blames Biden. Oh, let me say, Pat, welcome. I'm happy you found us too. Please subscribe to the channel. Please, please, please. All right, let's go.
Spirit. And Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg, along with the Biden DOJ, decided that they did not want that merger.
Listen, y'all, I'm going to be very honest. I don't care for Trump, but I didn't like Biden either. I didn't. And it wasn't even for what he was doing as the president. It was for laws that he had made in the past. Things that he had, I didn't care for Biden. I didn't care for Kamala either. I didn't. But I had to pick one of the lesser evils. That's how I felt. All right, let's go.
To take place. And at the time, the Biden and Buttigieg DOJ bragged and said, as they canceled the option for this merger, that this was a victory for U.S. travelers who deserve lower prices and better choices. And this today would indicate this is not better for travelers. This is not better for pricing. This is not better for competition.
Hold on, stop the press. That's a maybe. That would be sarcastic. You see how my mom just zapped somebody? They'll just get zapped. Come on, Mike. Stop playing with me. All right, let's go.
Actually, it's worse. We had an airline go down because the markets were trying to allow two airlines to merge, make them stronger, and offer more competition.
Yep. Let me stop that part. I just didn't want to come out and say it, but Bart, that's why. You understand? I did not care for her or Biden because they put those laws in place. I lived in Oakland when Kamala was jailing black men for low-level pot dealing. They was giving them stupid, dumb time. That enraged me. So Bart, you was on the money with that one. That's why I was just like, that's why I said what I said. I didn't like them. I didn't like neither one of them. I'm just being honest. Oof.
American consumer.
All right, it's over, y'all. I'm gonna take comments from the chat. Yup, Bart, I'm happy you said it. I was trying to be careful, but I'm happy you said it. But I didn't care for Biden or her. We protested and she didn't care. I could believe it. It's just wild to me how they forget their past. You know what I'm saying? Like it never happened. No, there's some of us remember. Dang, Bart, you brought up a bomb-ass point. Thank you. That was crazy. That was insane. All right, let me take detaining people earn people fortunes. Yeah. Don't forget where you come from. That part. Like, I was mad. I'm not going to lie. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't like Biden either. And at the time, I was working down the Allegheny County Jail. So I really felt a ways. And I was down there. It was during COVID and everything around that time. But yeah, thanks, Bart, for bringing that up. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, guys, I will eventually have to go horizontal. I swear this is going to be my last time saying this. My channel was demonetized, and I believe it was for these live streams that I'm having right now on the president. So now I have to depend on fan funding. So because there's so many people that, just scroll through vertical, I need some stability if I'm going to start depending on fan funding. So pretty soon I will have to cut the vertical world out. I'm thinking once I get to 4,000 subscribers, you prefer? Okay. All right. I'm going to be doing it for a little, because I said once I hit 4,000, then I'll probably go just strictly horizontal. I'm going to test the waters. I'm going to be honest with you. I think going vertical, it makes the live lit. It makes it, even though, I get trolls here and there, but outside of the few trolls, I really enjoy you guys coming in, chatting, talking to one another. Like, I love that. I just love the environment. It just seems like it's just lit. The vertical world is lit. So I don't know. We'll see. But I did put in an appeal. It could take up to 14 days to almost a month sometimes. So I just have to wait and see. I'll have to wait and see. So I want our diamond gang to come over to maybe I'll try to get more people, to come over. I got to think of something to get them over there, though. I do. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Is it P Branch? Happy Saturday. See, this is what I'm saying. This is why I love the vertical side, y'all. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Thank you. So, I don't know. But I'm not quite at 4,000, but I'm getting very close. So, we'll see. But I want to thank everybody that participated. Thank you for being respectful. You can say anything you want here. I just started listening. Nice. Thank you. The diversity. So do I. Yup. That's it right there. I love the diversity here. I don't always agree, and I appreciate the conversation. Yeah. Sometimes I could be looking like Mike. He know a lot. Stuff that I didn't know. That's why I was like, you want to co-host with me? My ears is opened. Hey, Damien. Hi, Queen. My first time. Oh, it's your first time here? Stay a while. Come back. Subscribe. But yeah, I like my ears is open. Yeah, I love you too, Mike. That's what I'm saying. You was telling me a lot of stuff that I didn't know. So I would love to have you up here just to chop it up. Come on, man. You could do it. Ignore the trolls. No, there go my boo. My boo said no flirting with the host. You locked in, Damien? Thank you. See, and this is why I keep coming back. I wake up every morning. I kid y'all not. As soon as I get up, I start looking for clips and seeing what I want to talk about. And then I start building them from there. And I got a whole bunch of other content. My channel is celebrity gossip. So I do short celebrity gossip. I do uploads on celebrity gossip. And then my live streams are political. So I kind of like got a hybrid channel. My shorts is a mixture of everything, though, a little bit. So I'm dipping my feet in a little bit of everything. And I'm trying to keep up. And I am pretty much. But sometimes it's hard. because it take a lot of time for me to put these clips together, and yeah, it take a while, while I'm still trying to do my other content. That's why I be like, y'all, please just hit the like. The fan funding will come eventually, but just hit that like for your girl. It helps keep me in the algorithm. Really. Oh, did you send me some? No, you didn't. Oh, thank you, Mike. I love Mike. Thank you, boo. I appreciate you. I got to keep it open, or either make it, sound off the alert when I get something. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. I love you. But yeah, I know the fan funding will come eventually. And if they deny my appeal, I'm just going to work on my channel to where, I can get it back. But once I start something, I'm going to finish it. That's it, just, So once, I get done commentating on this and I want to move on, that's when I'll start tightening up my channel. Right now, I like what I'm doing and I don't want to be stressed out. So, hi, Bobby. I don't want to be stressed out. So I want the freedom that, I want the freedom too. I don't want to wake up and be worried about, are they going to take my monetization in the next sweep? I don't want to worry about that. Thousands of channels got swept. It wasn't just my channel. It was thousands of people. I love you too. You said I got something unidentifiable. You got it. Oh, hey, say. I'm goofy in real life, y'all. I'm so goofy. Seriously, I love meeting different people. I love to laugh. I love to talk. Please don't ever think I don't mean any harm. I'm just passionate about what I believe in. But I am not that stubborn that I can't listen. That's how you learn. Yup. You said 4 channels that got hit, but it was a bunch. It was a bunch. My boy C Dove. We Beat You. That's that channel. It was a bunch of us. I was devastated. I'm not even gonna lie. I cried. I worked on my channel. I work on my channel hard. First time. Goofy is fine. Thank you. I love George. Yolanda, you do the work, and it's appreciated. I know. Thank you. Great live. Thank you, bro. I'll be up early in the morning. Early in the morning. I got to my bro right here, George. Listen, he gets up. He preaches the word every Sunday. Me and my crew, we're going to get over there tomorrow and support George. He is on his way to monetization. So, listen, subscribe to my bro, George. Please. I love you too, Sassy. My girl from my city. Yeah, it will. I know it'll be all right. But at first, I was bitter. I ain't even going to hold you. I was mad. I was so mad. Hi, T. Make sure you come back, sis. No, I'm not a Trumpster. No. But I respect anybody that supports him. So if you support him, you're allowed to say that. You're allowed to say that. This one guy, I can't even think of his name right now. He trolls me all the time, even up under my celebrity videos, and say Trump is the GOAT. There go my girl. What's up, 3 little birds? What's up? Yeah, I love my audience. I love you too, Marie. This is another one. My moderator, Marie, speaks real tea. If you're into celebrity gossip and you don't like a lot of long form content, Marie is your girl. So get over there and subscribe. We both do celebrity gossip content, but we got different styles. And she's a good commentator. Like, I love her voice, and I love the way she tells stories. It's always a lesson in her videos and her shorts. So get over there. Yeah, he is. I can't put that word up. You got to misspell it, Duff. Misspell it. I was getting ready to put it up there. You got to misspell it. Put it back in there, but use a different word for that word. Oh, you're welcome, bro. You're welcome. You said sitting in the park watching you, my love, trying to catch up from last week. You in the park? It's dark outside. Oh, you're welcome. I'm happy you here. You hear me? I am grateful. I'm very humble. Thank you. I want you out of the dark, three little birds. Talking about sitting in the park. All right, Diamond Gang. I am 2 hours, 20 minutes in. Okay, you okay? That's all. Okay, that's all I care about. Cool. I am 2 hours, 20 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and get up off of here. It is 1:25 in the morning, East Coast time. So I'm going to get me a couple hours of sleep so I could get up for my boys' service in the morning. And I will see you guys tomorrow for sure. For sure, for sure. Thank you and remain blessed. I am. Thanks, bro. Thanks, Mike. All right, y'all. I got to get up out of here. I love y'all. Y'all just made my night. Oh, it's 12:25. Yeah, it's 1:30 here. Damn near 1:25. I am, Michael. You got to come up. All right, y'all. Good night.
It's your under degrees. Sip with me. I'll pour it hot, so hot. I'll pour it sweet, so sweet. Spilling his tea, spilling and sipping his tea, spilling and sipping his tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under degree, feeling great, spilling tea. Have a seat and join me. Sip some tea, unwind with me. Let's grab a snack and talk some smack. I'm your girl, I got your back. I got the news, I got the views. I bet you can't wait, I know you can't wait to sip this tea. Sip this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping 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 this tea. Thanks for watching me, tuning in, subscribing, hitting that like, smash that like. I don't bite, no. It's your under degree, shining bright, set the stage. Hollywood dreams, red carpet scenes, glitter and glow, the secrets I know. Drama with flair, I serve it rare. I got the scoop, I got the proof. I know you can't wait, so come and escape and sip this tea. Sip with me, spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea. Spilling and sipping this tea.